Rob, thank you. Patrick Frazee found guilty, as you said, on all counts, including that first-degree murder charge, convicted of killing his fiancée, Kelsey Barrett, whose body was never found. She was last seen just under a year ago, November 22nd, on Thanksgiving, when she was caught on that surveillance video shopping for Thanksgiving with her daughter in that Woodland Park Safeway. Frazee sentenced to life without parole plus 156 years before being led out of the courtroom in handcuffs. And shortly after that, District Attorney Dan May came out and spoke with reporters.
This is a bittersweet day for the prosecution and this community. It was a sweet day in the sense that justice was brought to Patrick Frazee for this brutal, gruesome, senseless murder. The judge sentenced him to life without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder. He then sentenced him consecutively for all other charges, 3 counts of solicitation, 1 count of tampering with the deceased body, and maximized those sentences to 156 years on top of the life without the possibility of parole. It's a sad day that all justice can do is hold Patrick Frazee accountable. We wish Kelsey were here today. That would be true justice if she could join us today. She did not deserve this.
And Sam Kramer has been covering this case since the very beginning. When it was a missing persons case, he's been in the courtroom every single step of the way. And this was an emotional win for prosecutors and for the Barrett family.
Yeah, I mean, you just heard Dan May right there. It's bittersweet for sure. They would love for Kelsey Barrett to still be here, but given the circumstances, this is about as good of a scenario, best case scenario, that the Barrett family could get here. It was tense inside the courtroom when the jury came and delivered their verdict to Judge Scott Sells. You could see the Barrett family kind of clenching each other's shoulders, ready for whatever was about to happen, and each time every single one of those 6 verdicts was read and read aloud to be guilty. You know, they kind of released some of that tension, but also let the tears flow. After all of those verdicts were read, I saw Daryl Barrett, Kelsey's father, give a hug to all of the prosecutors, Dan May, Jennifer Veman, Beth Reed. You can finally feel a sense of relief for them that this is starting to come to an end, though it's not there just yet. But again, the 1-year anniversary of her death this Friday, so they feel that they can kind of bring justice to this. They feel that Patrick Frazee is being held accountable for this. And again, as we mentioned earlier, a bittersweet win for the Barrett family. So a powerful day in court. This was a very fast process. A lot of times homicides take 2 to 3 years to actually get into court, get into trial. Less than a year before Barrett's death, when Patrick Frazee is now sentenced to life.
And just a few hours for that deliberation today, too.
Yeah, just 3.5 hours. And, you know, this is a case that was largely built on circumstantial evidence, but the best evidence they had, the closest thing to direct evidence they had, was the testimony of Crystal Kenny. She provided them basically everything they needed to know, as close to direct evidence as they could get, as far as how this crime happened, how he did it, when he did it, where he did it, how he disposed of her body.
Sam Kramer, great coverage for us. Thank you so much for all your work.